Did you miss me? Hello, and welcome to another countdown. I love Undertale. I really love Undertale. My love for most of my favorite games can be explained usually with one really good thing. Why do I love Xenoblade Chronicles? The insane story. Mother 3? Its ability to make you feel incredibly good as you're crying tears of total despair. But when it comes to Undertale, there are plenty of things to really appreciate. The cast of incredible characters, the ingenious reset mechanic, the incredible morality system and its effect on the story, or its Earthbound style humor and charm. There's just so much to appreciate this game for.
Such as the bosses.
Never have I seen such great mixes of gameplay, dialogue, music, creativity, and generally the presence of unfathomably high quality. The feeling you get when you fight Undertale bosses is pretty much tantamount to what you'd feel if God descended from the heavens with heaps of golden alcohol as a gift just for you. They're good, and I'll explain why in these entries. There are massive spoilers for games on this list. If you're here to check Undertale out, you have come to the wrong place. I'd say you should act now and spare yourself the spoilers and flee. Well, there they go. So, sit back, relax, and try not to have a bad time. These are my top 5 Undertale bosses. Upon the first few moments of any person's Undertale experience, a certain fellow will be met. Meet Flowey the Flower. He treats you kindly and teaches you the ropes of the game. Only that these ropes of his hang on nothing. Other than how to move, Flowey directly lies to you about the game's mechanics. Then he shares some of his love by shooting friendliness pellets at you. But it turns out these pellets are not for love, they're for war. Flowey then reveals his true self, and it turns out this guy is a psychopath. Eventually Toriel saves you from a sad demise, and you never see Flowey again. Or do you? Fast forward to the Asgoth fight. You show him how it's done, and it seems like it's all over. Suddenly, the little turd shows up, and he's stolen the human souls. Note, the human souls grant monsters incredible strength. Give him several human souls, and he's not going down easily. So, with the power of the human souls, what the hell is that thing? Flowey's new form, often called Omega Flowey, is just a sight to behold. It's like actually gruesome, especially out of context. Literally everything here shouldn't be. A game with simple looking sprites and you suddenly see this shit. Flowey's main plus is his concept. When it comes to battle, so Flowey's normal attacks look as crazy as his design. But how are they? Pretty disappointing. Most of the attacks do nothing to your health because you're supposed to be able to take a lot of shit. But that's not all. Half the time in this battle, you actually can't die. Even at the last health point, no damage can kill you, and when you do die, he'll just taunt you and start from where you left off. Your main objective in the fight is to save the human soul so you can fight back against him. So randomly, you end up in some little challenge to save a soul, but you can't die when doing it. All that's left is his ability to mess with the save files. He can buy this, heal himself, and move you around, but he doesn't use it practically until the end, but it doesn't work because, I don't know. But, overall, the Flowey fight is really interesting and wacky. The problem is that it's not hard at all when it really should be hard. Undertale is a game that was created as a result of amazing ideas. These amazing ideas include the meta reset system, the killer spare system, and a boring looking robot turning into a goddamn boy band member and giving me a good dance. There's something that doesn't get old with Metaton. Why? I literally just explained it. It's a funny thing to be fighting a metrosexual television star who doubles as a killer robot. I can't say much more than that about the basic concept, but I can appreciate the battle a ton. It's fun. A ton of fun. As with most boss battles, your soul changes color and you can fight in new ways. This time, you're yellow and can shoot. The bullets don't hurt Metaton, but they do stop many of his attacks. His attacks for the most part aren't too interesting. There are a couple unique TV-themed attacks, but the two attacks I can really appreciate are the essay question and the TV break, which are both very funny. In the essay question specifically, the things you write affect what it will do to the show's ratings. I'd say the thing that makes this battle so memorable is the reality TV finale settings. Seemingly everything can change the ratings, which you need to bring up the spare him. You can change the rating through the food you eat, clothes you wear, gestures you make. Generally everything can change the audience reaction. But damn, those legs.
Oh, yes.
Most Undertale enemies can be put into one of 3 groups. You have your normal enemies, which aren't unique and can show up multiple times. You have your mini-bosses, which come once out of nowhere and leave. And you have your bosses, which have build-up, character, the leadership of an area, and a special gameplay mechanic. Moffet is hard to pinpoint. She really comes out of nowhere. So much so that she actually has the creation of a fan. She's pretty much the last boss you must face in Hotland 2. And most of all, she has a special soul change color thing. This time you're purple. With the power of purple or whatever, you can jump between the 3 separate lines in order to avoid obstacles. This is really to celebrate her being the leader of the spiders. The main highlight of this battle is the fact that it's fun and really nothing else. Moffet does nothing to the story, it can actually be skipped. But who wanted to do that? It's legitimately fun. Also, you need to pay a fuck ton of money to skip her. Her attacks are fast, unexpected, and overall very fun to avoid. She'll also throw croissants at you. Talk about a bad host. The only real problem is that her attacks get pretty repetitive, as the only one that isn't the norm is the one where you climb a lot of purple strings to escape her weird pet thing. But I can't really think of more creative uses of the jump between strings mechanic, so I can't complain too much. It's just designed to not be versatile. After a long 2-hour playthrough of Undertale, you're finally gonna leave the underground. But you have newfound knowledge. According to Elfies, you don't need a human soul to break the barrier. You need both a human and monster soul. On neutral runs, this isn't a big deal. Whatever. Kill someone? Who cares? But on Pacifist, you're kinda screwed it seems. You go through that trippy exposition section, talk to Sans, and then you enter his throne. This is the final enemy, Asgoth. Before you meet him, you get mixed descriptions of Asgoth. He's described as the man responsible for killing all the humans who fall on the ground in a fit of rage. But he's also described as a kind and humble friend to everybody. These two don't fit that well. He greets you kindly even though he knows he will fight you in seconds. You both walk to the border and you fight. But he starts out with a surprising action. He destroys the mercy button. Think about that for a little bit. I originally interpreted it as a signal that playing nice is useless and nothing can convince him. But think about it. This is the man who killed humans but didn't kill you. He can't even look at you in battle. He's not destroying the button for my original guess. He's doing it because he doesn't feel he deserves mercy. Sometimes I'm not even sure why he tries. He fights you prepared to die and he hates it when you lose. His story significance is what makes him so great. But that's not all. He's incredibly fun to fight, possibly even more than Moffet. He starts out pretty easily, but his attacks get faster and faster as time goes on. Sometimes I don't get how I'm supposed to dodge these attacks. Also, the music is ear sex. Genocide! You already know whom I'm talking about, but I'm gonna pretend you don't. The genocide path is tedious and not tedious at the same time somehow. Everything's handed to you, except for enemies. This is why you have to spend so much time grinding. Anyway, after a few brutal slaughters, you run into Undyne, who poses an incredible challenge. She's kinda pissed that you're threatening the lives of so many. Eventually, you kill her and the game continues to let you in. Until the final boss. Now, I've razzed on the beings of unimaginable power earlier for being easier than your mom most of the earlier in-game bosses, so it's really funny that the one final boss who's described as the weakest enemy is the hardest fight in the entire game. You know, I think the Sans battle in Undertale has everything I want in a boss battle. God tier music, amazing story significance, stellar creativity, and fucking good gameplay. Let me start with this. Sans is one of the hardest boss battles I've ever faced in my entire life. This doesn't mean the game is lying. Sans attacks technically do only 1 point of damage, but he also inflicts a poison-like effect that eats away at your health. Also, in normal fights, when you get hit, you have a short period of invincibility to shape up and adapt. This isn't the case in the Sans fight. When you get hit again and again and again. This means one little slip can take half of your health. The main reason Sans can fight so well is because he's cheating. Sans has literally 1 health point, so he simply moves out of the way when you try to attack him. It's that simple. He also attacks you even when it's not his turn, and the whole invincibility frame fiasco can be argued as a rule breaker as well. And let's not mention some of the craziest attacks I've ever seen in my entire gaming career. Basically, Sans is willing to bend the rules to keep you from losing your soul. Oh yeah, that's a good segue to the next point. Sans is one of the few who are aware of your and other save file resetting antics. This is why he's so lazy. He thinks everything is a toy for whoever's controlling the timelines. Now, he figures out it's you. But that's not the reason he's so hellbent on killing you. It's not because of the pain and torture you've spread. That was Undyne's reasoning. He's aware that it'll be reset no matter what. He's trying to give you such a bad time because he's trying to save you. If you kill Sans, you will meet with Kara, and they will destroy everything. You can have it restored at the cost of your soul. This means you can't truly get the true pacifist ending anymore. Your save file is corrupted. Sans doesn't want that for you. He's trying to keep you from ruining everything for yourself. It's brilliant. Think of it as being grounded by your parents. Usually, it's because they're trying to keep you from screwing yourself over. And I just love that. Sans was designed to stop the player, to make them reset and play nice next time. It's the last of many chances, and I just think that's amazing. I've grown obsessed with this fight. Some of my friends say I've mastered it. Now and then, I change my Undertale files just so I can replay the fight again because it's so fun. I like the challenge, I like the bullshit, it's brutal. You can call it an abusive relationship, but I call it tough love. You run into another skier, your skis are gonna cross. Gonna have a bad time. You french fry when you shoot pizza, you're gonna have a bad time. You take one step forward, you're gonna have a bad time. Or a good time in my case.